Hello, everyone. I'm Ellie at English Fun Zone, and today, joining me, as always, the fabulous, fantastic Brad. Hi, Brad. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm
And I am
doing
indeed
great.
fabulous and fantastic.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
So, did you have a good weekend?
I did, yes. And appropriately for our topic today, I went to brunch at my favorite restaurant, and yesterday I made chili.
Ooh,
Yum.
what did you put in your chili?
It's a basic chili, like ground turkey with beans and tomato. But I've had more epic, for lack of a better word, chili. But I try to when I when I do what's called meal prep, where you make all your food for the week in advance. I try to keep it simple so that I'm not
Hmm.
just standing here for hours cutting vegetables and stuff.
Hmm. Hmm. I made my dad a vegetarian chili, and he didn't know it was vegetarian.
I can't believe it's not vegetarian.
Yeah. He's like, well, this is really good. He says, wow, this is very good. And then he looks at me and he goes, is this vegetarian? I said, yes.
And then
He didn't know it was
and then he
vegetarian because
threw it.
I think it was because I was smiling
Okay.
like you know?
Did you did he then throw a chair across the table or what?
No. He actually ate it, and he actually ate it the next day. Now, my dad's the
Mm.
type of person that if he doesn't like something, he will toss it out. And for
Mm.
him to save it and then eat it again the next day, well, that let me know that
Victory achieved.
he enjoyed it. Yeah.
Like mom would like put onions in, and I didn't into stuff, as a seasoning or whatever. And you know, Amy and I both were like, "Is there onion in this?" And she's like, "No, it's spices." That was her, well, which she wasn't lying about. It is a spice, so
True.
yeah.
So, as you might have guessed, today we're going to be talking about food and
Yum
cooking, and
yum.
we're going to be talking about vocabulary words and phrases. Now, this live stream is intended for all students. So, if you're a basic student, fine, you're going to learn some basic phrases and basic vocabulary. But if you're more of an advanced student of English, or maybe a teacher that teaches English, this is going to be a good video for you to watch as well. Maybe it'll give you some ideas as far as maybe a lesson to do on cooking. I had a difficult time choosing what vocabulary words to show you, and because there's so much in cooking, there's so many things you can talk about. So
Mm.
let's get into it. Let's
As,
get
as as as
started.
as Gordon Ramsay would say, beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, beautiful. Well, he says other
Yeah.
things that we don't want our students to learn, but let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, all those bad words. Okay,
It's
so
fucking raw.
so we're going to look at our first slide here.
Okay.
First of all, let's talk about what things can you cook.
Mm-hmm.
What things can you cook? Um, Maybe if you would like, type your answers in the chat box, and I will uh, make sure I put up a screen so I can see your questions,
Mm-hmm.
your answers. So go ahead and type them in the chat box. I know there is a slight delay when we do a live stream, but yeah, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you can ask questions, make comments, keep it clean.
Don't be Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, don't bully, don't say bad words.
Definitely
So
don't
what
bully.
things yeah, what things can you cook, Brad?
Sure. Well, I'm kind of newish to cooking. I decided to do it more like a year or two ago, for a bunch of different reasons. But I can make lasagna, shepherd's pie, chili, um, stroganoff, beef stroganoff, curry. There are some things I make more than others. Like I really like Italian, so I do a lot of pasta. And also last week I did another favorite, which is like roasted chicken breasts with couscous in a parsley sauce, which is all made from. Oh, it's quite good. I really enjoy that one.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So you're quite the chef.
I'm definitely doing better than I did 2 years ago when I was just putting like Maggie noodles in the microwave. But yeah, no, I got a lot of books from what's called America's Test Kitchen, and they do a lot of recipes, and I like doing those.
Mm.
But right now, I'm more concerned about managing my time and my cholesterol, so I'm doing like really simple 5 ingredient, low cholesterol things.
Well, I would say that I enjoy cooking as well. I cook a lot of different things. I try different recipes because our family is primarily vegetarian. Most of our dishes are vegetarian. Now, I do have some things that I like to cook on occasion, once in a while. I like fish, for example. And at Christmas time, I love turkey,
Mhm.
and so I'll make a turkey. And I think my favorite thing to make would be, oh, probably some kind of pasta dish. I like making dumplings. I also
Yes.
like making Alfredo.
Yum.
Um, yeah. So I
Right.
love making vegetarian lasagna. I don't put a lot of weird things in like eggplant. I'm one of those people that I don't like to put eggplant in a
Mhm.
vegetarian lasagna, but it's onion, garlic, spinach, fresh tomatoes, and lots of cheese.
Mhm. Well, at least you're not being how to basic.
Right. No, no,
Yes.
I like to cook.
Well, I
Oh,
like his videos, but I also like to cook, sane foods in sane ways. So,
mm. Do you have a favorite YouTube chef?
I like one guy named Brian Langerson. I think I'm butchering his last name. I've done a few recipes from him. I also like to watch Basics with Bobish, who,
Mm.
he's doing like, well, he's like, hi folks, my name is Bobish, and now we're going to be doing this here from the. He's got a very monotone voice, and you only see like like he's on camera, like he does videos where you see his face, but it's just like you just see his like chest and arms as he's making things, and but what he does is he does like things from. So for example, he'll do like fire flakes from the
Mm.
show Avatar: The Last Airbender. So he'll show a clip of the characters going "Yum, fire flakes," and then he'll usually make what the show says it is or what he thinks it is looking at it, and then he'll usually try to improve it, and it's usually pretty interesting. And he also does a series where he just shows you how to make lasagna, how to make broth, how to make pizza dough. So I've tried a few of his recipes, like his skillet lasagna, and it's pretty good.
I enjoy watching Gordon Ramsay.
Me too.
I enjoy watching his cooking
Yeah.
videos. I don't necessarily like watching like Hell's Kitchen and things.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but that's not really my favorite. I do like there's a Korean chef that I really like, and I've posted her videos um, in different
Hmm.
description boxes
Hmm.
when I've talked about cooking. I've mentioned her channel
Yeah.
before, and I, I, I her mind has my her name has slipped my mind.
Hmm.
But it's it's Mangchi.
Hmm.
Now, I don't know how she pronounces that.
Brian Langerstrom, that's the guy I was reaching for earlier. So
Ah,
yeah, he usually goes, "Hey, what's up?" and then he starts making stuff. So I like his videos.
I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's Ma Ngchi. Chi. I want to say Manchi, but
Hmm.
I'm not sure. I hope someone
Hmm.
out there who knows her or knows how to say her name in Korean.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I prefer watching Gordon Ramsay when he's like cooking.
Oh.
And you know, like I said, in the I think in the interview video we did like over a year ago, I like to do a very bad Gordon Ramsay impression, like, you know, carrots in, sauce in, beautiful, yes.
Oh, no.
But you
When I,
know, I
when I was a
also
kid,
enjoy
I
the
used
videos of him yelling sometimes because it's quite funny when like you hear him yelling in the kitchen and the customers in the restaurant are like,
he's great with his kids. I saw him do
absolutely.
a cooking video with his kids, and I was expecting a little bit more of the Gordon Ramsay that we're
Mm-hmm.
used to, but he was very kind and patient, and I thought, "Oh,
There's
that's the side we don't see of him."
there's a montage of him doing like Master Chef for kids, and like kids are crying, and he runs over, no, 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 I'm gonna help you, and then it
Oh,
cuts
I
to him going,
didn't see that. I haven't seen that. Oh, I
like
haven't
throwing
seen
things and swearing at adults. But
that.
I will point out in the British version of the shows, he's a lot calmer. Like he'll still swear, but it's conversational. It's just America where he's like screaming and throwing things and stuff like that.
Let's look at our next page here.
Mm.
Here's some questions that you could ask if you're invited to someone's house for dinner. You could ask these questions. You could say, "What's in this? What's in this? How do you make this?"
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a student asked me if I could say, or she could say, "How do you prepare this?" You could say prepare, and it sounds a little formal.
Yeah.
How do you prepare this?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds very formal. You
Yeah.
can say it; it's grammatically correct,
Yep.
but informal, we would say, "How do you make this?"
Yeah. It's
Um,
a little unquote colloquial. It would be like I would say, oh well, you do this, but it'd be like it's a little awkwardly formal.
right, and then you could say, "Could you give me the recipe?"
Mm-hmm.
Right? Could you give me the recipe? And did you make this? Did you make
Mm-hmm.
this? Um, I've posted some pictures here. These are things that I've made. Like I said, I like making Asian food. I like
Mm-hmm.
making dumplings and things like that. So this picture here on the left, um, those are dumplings, and I like them boiled, but my husband likes them fried. So
Mm-hmm.
we have boiled and fried. Um, I make birthday cakes. Um, uh, this one is a shark cake because she was very into sharks at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Oh, let me make a cake. Let me make the cake."
Where's the
So,
where's the shark element? Oh, okay, now I see it. Yeah.
um,
Well, because you're partly covering it on my phone, and now it's like, oh yeah, I see the shark. All right, okay,
okay, there's the eyes, there's the mouth.
yeah, yeah.
Those are. I had to go to a thrift store and buy Barbie dolls so I could cut up their legs and things. So, so
A
those are
bit
Barbie doll
dark.
legs. I
Yes.
know.
Well, we have a viewer from Ireland who's also has their birthday today. So if they're still watching our podcast, I hope they have a good birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Mm-hmm.
Do we sing happy birthday? No.
Not in Gaelic. I don't know what the words are, and I hope
Well,
they have a cake that isn't freaking Barbie legs sticking out of a shark.
but that's a cool cake. That's a
It's
cool cake.
impressive, yes. I never
Yeah.
got anything that cool as a birthday cake. I will say that.
I mean, her little Barbie doll shoe is hanging out here. Okay, and you can always put a sparkler in your cake to decorate it up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Yes.
I hope you have a great day, and I hope that all of your birthday wishes come true. Yeah,
I will ensure that they know that.
great, fantastic. Okay, so those are some questions that if you go to someone's house, you could ask them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you ask for a recipe, they might give you the recipe in cups or they might give you the recipe in deciliter.
Mm.
Brad, which do you use? Do you use cups or do you use deciliters?
I'm laughing because I have no choice in both. Our viewer in Ireland says, "Oh, thank you." So they heard the wishes. I'm laughing because I use both because America's text test kitchen obviously uses cups. So it's like, so I have to convert a lot, but I'm getting better at it. It's more automatic. And also, I've been doing it so long, I'm getting better at eyeballing. Like, yeah, that's about a teaspoon. So, what about you, Ellie?
I prefer cups because that's
Yeah,
what I grew up with.
freedom
That's
units.
that well, yeah, freedom units. That I all most I won't say all, but most of my books are in cups.
Yep.
But I do have some recipes that use deciliter, and I do have deciliter
Yeah.
cups.
Brian
That's an
Langerstrom.
oxymoron.
Yeah, Brian Langerstrom. He does both. He'll use cups, but he'll have the captions for deciliters and grams. So
I tried to do that as well.
yeah.
If I post a recipe, in fact, I did a recipe or video on banana pancakes, or I think it was banana
Mhm.
pancakes, and I'll post the link in the description box below. Um, it also goes into more detail as to the different utensils that you use for cooking.
Mhm.
So that's a good video if you're interested in learning the utensils for cooking.
Mhm.
And you get my pancake recipe, my banana pancake recipe.
Mhm.
All right. So, yeah, this is a tablespoon, a half a tablespoon, a teaspoon, a half a teaspoon, a quarter of a teaspoon, and an eighth of a teaspoon.
Mhm.
Um, Notice that there's a big T here for those that don't cook. That means it's a tablespoon. When it's a little t, it means a teaspoon. So if you are going to start cooking, that's something that a lot of people who show recipes, they forget to tell you that, or they don't use that. They don't
Mhm.
use, they'll write out tablespoon. And in reality, you could say capital T S P for
Mhm.
tablespoon and little t S P for teaspoon. So, fun fact.
Indeed.
Now, we have a dash, a pinch, and a smidgen. Have you heard of those? A dash, a pinch, a smidgen?
I have, but not in the, they're not like common words, right?
Mhm, mhm. So I don't normally I wouldn't measure these. To me, a dash, a pinch, a smidgen. A smidgen's a little bit smaller, but a dash and a pinch to me are basically the same thing. But when I looked them up, there's actually a difference that
Mhm.
I've posted the difference here on the PPT. But for me, it's all the same. Smidgen is I know is less,
Mhm.
but for me, a dash and a pinch have always been the same. But I learned something new. They're not.
Mhm.
All right, we have
Mhm.
simmer,
Okay.
boil, and this one is boiling over. You could say, let it, oh no, it's, So let it simmer would be this one. But oh no, these two are the could be the bad things, right? Boiling over
Mhm.
and oh no, it's boiling over. Oh no, it's boiling. Boiling over. Let it boil. I'll put that in here. Have you ever burnt any food?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Mhm. What about you?
No, not often. I burnt some cookies once,
Hmm.
pretty bad because I had forgotten them. I put them in, and they were the last. They were the last part of the batch.
Hmm.
I had about 4 cookies left from the batch of cookies that I was making, and I just put them in and walked away from them and forgot them. And I don't know. I don't burn things very often. So you could say, don't let it burn.
Hmm.
Sorry, I burnt the whatever it is. Sorry, I burnt the cookies. Sorry, I burnt the chicken. So you just put in whatever food it is there. Sorry, I burnt the chicken. But I like my hot dogs a little burnt.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
I
Any reason why?
oddly enough, um, I don't know exactly why. I tasted them once when I was a kid, and I liked the flavor. And now we have vegetarian hot dogs, and I still like them a little bit burnt. This would be
Okay.
a little too much. I like them a little like this, slightly burnt.
Hmm.
And my grandmother had a toaster that would always burn the toast, and we would use a knife and scrape it off.
Okay,
and
sounds fun.
and she would always say, well, I'd say, oh, but the toast is burnt. And she said, yes, but a little burnt food is good for your eyes.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, I didn't want to wear glasses when I was a kid, so anything that she wanted me to eat, she would always say, oh, but it's good for your eyes, because I didn't want to wear glasses. And I had a hard time eating carrots, and she would say, but rabbits, they don't have glasses because they eat a lot of carrots.
Hmm.
Good for your eyes. The other food, uh, I guess, saying would be, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yep.
Those the only That's the only one I know, really. The most
I see.
common one, I think. This one's been difficult for some students, so
Hmm.
let's get chopping. Um, Chopped, diced, and minced. Those are the 3 common ones. So I
Yep.
wrote chopped, diced, and minced. Um, Cross the middle slices. I've never ever seen that in a cookbook.
No,
Have you?
no, I would have to look that up.
Yeah, or top to bottom slice. I Not in a
I've,
recipe.
I've
Not in a
seen and
recipe.
heard that on some videos.
Right. In cooking shows or cooking videos, I have heard of top to bottom sliced. That I've heard, but I
Hmm.
still haven't seen it in a cookbook. Yeah. Do onions bother you?
Yes, all the time.
They make you cry? Yeah.
All the time. But it's it's noticeable when they're not in the recipe. So
Do you know any remedies to prevent that from happening?
I need to get kitchen goggles.
Oh, do they have those?
They do, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Um, I I have tried putting them in the freezer.
Hmm.
I have tried just cutting off one of the ends, because I was told that if you cut off the root end, it's better. Um, but
Yeah, I've tried all those. Nothing.
yeah, I think putting it in the freezer does help a little bit, but don't forget that you put them in the freezer. So those are some good vocabulary words to know
Hmm.
if you're cooking or talking about cooking.
Hmm.
This is another question I get from students, is when they order a steak, if they go to the state, the question is, how would you like that cooked? How would you like that cooked? And you actually get a choice. It's raw, rare, rare, medium, medium well, well done.
Okay.
How do you like your steak?
Uh, Probably medium.
Medium?
Yeah.
when I was eating steak, my favorite was medium rare. Medium
Okay.
rare.
Yeah. I, I
Next
think when I,
question.
I think when I was younger, it was well done, but now, yeah, I like it like medium.
Mm. Do you use sauce or no sauce?
It depends on the recipe.
Mm. It depends on if it's been marinated.
Yeah.
Like if they put it in some sort of marinated, like a marinade,
Mm-hmm.
like some people put balsamic vinegar and some other spices and marinate the steak before cooking it.
Mm.
I I I won't use steak sauce for that,
Mm-hmm.
but I would use A1. I loved A1 steak sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had that in years though. You can't find that in certain countries.
Mm-hmm.
They do have HP sauce, and HP sauce is the equivalent in Britain.
Mm.
HP.
He says on the burnt food, charcoal is food for digestion.
There you go. There's a nice phrase.
Fair enough.
And questions we could ask is, what do you eat? Right? We could ask
Mm-hmm.
you, what do you eat? What things do you eat? Um, do you eat meat? You could say, I'm a vegetarian, I'm vegan,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm a carnivore. Or yes, simply, yes, I eat meat.
Right. Yeah.
Just, yes, I eat meat. Do you have any food allergies?
I do not, fortunately.
Yeah,
Do you?
no, I don't
Okay.
have any food allergies. Although, when I was younger, I would tell people I was allergic to things like mushrooms, asparagus, um, and mushrooms, asparagus, and broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care for cooked broccoli. Is there anything you can't eat or don't eat? That's what I would say. Mushrooms, asparagus, and broccoli. Those are three things that I really hate.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm okay with all three of them, but when I was younger, I really couldn't stand broccoli.
Cooked, raw, both.
I just didn't like broccoli, but now it's fine.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't mind raw broccoli if it's just a little bit, but if it's like a whole thing, what do we call it? Floret or a
Yeah, floret. Yeah.
so
Well,
the
a
way
head is the whole thing, and I think a floret is like the smaller, more chewable part that you could like bite size.
right, right. I can't eat that. If it's cut up, that's okay. If it's raw, I'm not a big fan of it cooked, and I can't even think of asparagus. The smell, the why?
I've never had any problem with asparagus.
Mhm. And I
Okay.
don't like mushrooms. And I think I don't like mushrooms because I really don't like the texture. I'm not a big fan of the smell, but it's that slimy texture. I'm not a big fan of that.
Mm. I mean, I do have issues with like vegetables in a sandwich. Like I can have a sandwich and a salad, but I can't do a BLT.
Oh,
And I prefer not to have like whole tomatoes because I don't like the way they pop in your mouth. It's like so yeah, it's like more of a texture thing.
yeah, yeah.
But I remember my sister and I had issues with texture and food, and we'd have like weird names for it.
Mm.
So
You can also ask, do you have any requests? That one could get you into trouble if you don't know how to cook.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
uh, I enjoy cooking. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy when people say, "Oh, make coq au vin." Okay, which I have. I have made it. But that
I
I
think
love
Brian
the
Langerstrom
challenge.
just did it. I think he just did it like a couple of months ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, love it, love it.
I've never had it, so can't comment.
Oh, Okay, I've made a list of common fruit and common vegetables. So this one's common fruits. These are 20 common fruits that you will hear.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Notice that I say common fruit with S, common fruits, common fruit. Uh, when we're talking about um, different types, you might hear someone say common fruits with an S at the end because they're talking about types. You're not talking about just fruit in general. So that's why you might hear fruits. But
Mm-hmm.
fruit, most of the time, we say fruit because it's a non countable. All right. So we have apples, bananas, oranges, grapes, strawberries, blueberries, cherries. Read the next one.
Okay. Kiwi, pomegranates, papaya, lemons, limes, avocado, cantaloupe.
Now, cantaloupe. I call it muskmelon. This to me is cantaloupe,
Mm-hmm.
but I call it muskmelon. Have
I've
you
never
ever
heard that word before.
really?
Nope.
When I was in college, I called it muskmelon, and everyone looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. Like, what? Muskmelon.
Why
And they
is
said,
it called muskmelon?
I don't know, but I guess it's from I I, I grew up in Indiana, so maybe it's a thing from Indiana. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
a colloquialism in Indiana. But some people say muskmelon, and I say muskmelon. The
Very well.
other, yeah. This one is also a cantaloupe, but we call that honeydew. We don't call it muskmelon because it's a honeydew. It's green. So the green one we call honeydew, and the orange one we call muskmelon. Or I say
Mm-hmm.
my family, muskmelon and honeydew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't until college I heard the word cantaloupe.
Wow. Okay.
I know. Country girl. The next one is watermelon, pineapple, mango, peaches, plums, and pears.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like all of these things?
Um, I haven't had all these things, but all the things I've had, yeah, they're fine.
Mm. I don't like mango. For some reason, it tastes like soap. And yeah,
I'm trying to think what cilantro is something that tastes like soap to me.
yeah, I can't eat cilantro either.
It
But
always overpowers the dish for me,
yeah, me too. Me too.
so I usually leave that out.
We have to stop eating soap bread.
Mm,
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of mango, and I don't like avocado in most things. If it's like in a dip or something, that's okay. But uh, alone by itself, I do not like avocado,
mhm,
and I really don't like avocado dip, like just plain avocado dip.
mhm.
I used to kid my students from Costa Rica. I would say, "Ah, it looks like caca de niño, baby poop."
Oh dear.
That's what it looked like to me.
This was avocado.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
I'm just not a big fan of it. And again, I think it's because of the texture
Yeah.
more than the taste. All right, let's look at some common vegetables. Okay, you start.
Okay. Carrots, broccoli, spinach, kale, tomatoes, potatoes.
Right, sweet potatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, cucumbers, zucchini, and lettuce. Now,
Hmm.
peppers, we have different types of peppers. We have red pepper, green pepper, yellow pepper, and then we have chili peppers.
Hmm.
Um, and the next group,
Cabbage, cauliflower, eggplant, green beans, mushroom, beets, and asparagus.
interesting. Now, say this word again.
Which word?
This,
Cauliflower.
see, some people say it that way. I say cauliflower, like with a short, soft and you say
Okay.
cauliflower. I've heard that in some states in the US, they say cauliflower,
Hmm.
and I say cauliflower, like a short sound, like
Hmm.
hit, sit, cauliflower. Eh, that short I. Um, so yeah, so there's a difference in pronunciation.
Hmm.
Eggplant, but when I was living in the UK, it was called aubergine.
Yep. I've heard that one increasingly.
Aubergine. Yeah, I the first time I heard that, I was in England, and I said, "The what?" Who? Yeah. I like most of these. The one thing that I have a slight allergy to is kale.
Hmm.
When I touch it, for some reason it irritates my skin. I don't know why. So I kind of stay away from that one.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't like mushrooms and I don't like asparagus. So and beets, I'm not a big fan of beets. When I was a kid, I ate too many, so I now I'm they've kind of I think I'm done eating beets.
Hmm.
I ate too many when I was a kid. All right, dessert.
Yum yum.
I love desserts.
I do too.
My favorite is pumpkin pie. My
Yes.
second favorite is lemon cheesecake. Those are my two favorites.
Pumpkin pie is fantastic. My grandmother made pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving.
And cheesecake is harder to make than pumpkin pie.
Definitely. But New York style is fantastic.
That's the thick cheesecake.
It's the best cheesecake. That's the only
Yeah,
adjective
yeah.
used.
Well,
The
when I
cheesecake.
think of New York, I think of it's thicker and it's creamier, and oh, it's wonderful. I've had cheesecake in Costa Rica.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. If you're from Costa Rica, I'm sorry. That's not cheesecake. It's more of a custardy kind of a custard cheesecake,
Hmm.
and I was really surprised when I had it. This is not cheesecake; it's custard cake. So if you're in Costa Rica, be careful.
I see.
But of course, they're probably used to that flavor and that texture. But you have to try New York cheesecake, or at least a lemon cheesecake.
Hmm.
One thing I'm not a big fan of is the only kind of cake I like is chocolate cake. I'm not a big cake muffin type of
Mm.
person. I enjoy chocolate cake once in a while, but on my birthday, I prefer pumpkin pie. I
Mm.
prefer apple pie or some kind of pie.
Pumpkin pie is not really a thing in the Czech Republic, unfortunately.
No,
No,
you you can make it, but yeah, it's not
but you got
some.
to get the and that is definitely hard to find in the Czech Republic. The pumpkin puree, that's definitely hard to find
Oh,
here.
right. If you want to go that way, yeah, you
Mm.
can get it from the UK. You can find it online.
Right. Yeah, but then I have to deal with a god awful postal system here, and I don't want to do that. So, well, no, it's the same thing. Like I really like mac and cheese, but all the recipes either call for American cheese, which they don't do here, or
Yeah.
condensed milk, and I only can find the sweet variety. So,
Right. Right. Yeah, I remember having a hard time finding that as well.
mm,
I used powdered milk. That works.
okay. Well,
That
I would ask them, but America's Test Kitchen says we don't respond to questions about our recipes. It's like, oh, okay,
oh
cool.
yeah. I got that once as well. I thought, what?
Like, okay, maybe I live in another country and that just isn't available.
Now, what's the strangest thing you've ever tried to make? Is there anything that you've made that was different?
Define different.
Something that you wouldn't think of cooking, but because someone asked you to cook it or you wanted to try cooking it, that you thought, I don't, let's try
Probably moussaka.
moussaka. Okay.
Yeah. And then there was some kind of like broccoli cheese bites, and the recipe's like, oh, these are so good, but like I tried following the recipe and it didn't work, and they came out raw, completely raw. even after their like an increased baking time. So I had a Gordon Ramsay temper tantrum about that.
Well, I was dating someone that was very into fish,
Okay.
and we decided to cook squid. there's there's me
Mm.
holding up the squid going, ew.
No,
And
that's more like regretting all of your choices in life. That's not just disgust. That's just regretting everything.
it's so funny because I thought, oh well, I've got to try it. And thankfully, I was watching a step-by-step video on how to cook it because there were some things that I didn't know. These little guys come with. They come with little beaks that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know about. I knew that they had ink, but I didn't know about the beaks. And I was, okay, so their mouth is kind of like a beak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, yeah, when there's like whales, they find beaks in them all the time because they ate a
Yeah.
squid.
Yeah. So these are things you could say to someone, but if you go to their house and they cook for you, do not say these things. These aren't things you would say if you went to, let's say you came to my house and I made you this meal, and you wouldn't want to say this tastes horrible
Mm-hmm.
or this is tasteless. Or Brad,
What?
this is
Oh, disgusting.
this is awful.
Or it's terrible.
This is unpalatable. There's a fancy word. This is
Mm.
this is unpalatable.
Or stomach churning,
Yeah. Ugh. Yucky.
inedible.
Unappetizing.
Or maybe
Yeah.
you could just say gross.
Gross. Yeah. Gross.
Gross.
That's awful. That's disgusting. If you're a teacher watching this live stream, I don't recommend saying just writing the word and writing a definition. Have students, take the word and write it in a sentence. Use it in a sentence. Does this taste is it does this taste good? No, it's tasteless.
Mm.
Is it tasteless? It is. Oops, I missed one. Now, the opposite of that is this tastes good. It's scrumptious.
Or delicious.
It's savory.
Or it could be delectable.
This is mouth-watering.
Or flavorful.
This is yummy.
Or sweet.
This is tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever used the word savory though. I heard this in
I
Britain a lot.
yeah, I've heard
In
it.
Britain, they use savory quite a bit.
Is that a pizza down there? Because that's fantastic. Pizza is fantastic.
Yeah, that's pizza.
Pizza is awesome.
I don't like the pizza in Prague though.
I don't either. I mean, that's why I'm using like Pizza Hut or frozen pizza because, yeah, it's not. You know what they say? There's no such thing as bad pizza, but it's like when you were in New York and now you're having this, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the first time I had pizza in Prague, I was going, "Yay, pizza!" And no, 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 this is not pizza. No,
Ne masrada,
yeah,
as we would
no,
say, ne masrada. You don't
no.
like it?
It's like too thin, and they just put they like little tiny pieces of cheese and just a little sprinkle of like sauce. They just kind of like they must take a spoon and just shake it and done.
Well, it's like I've been to a pizzeria and I have it, and it's like, oh, this is fantastic, and then I go back and it's just a slap of grease. So I think it also depends on who's on duty that day.
Oh, it was terrible. And pizza here is pretty much the same. So I don't eat the
Mm.
pizza here. I make pizza at home. I take a frozen pizza, just the basic cheese and sauce, and I add more cheese, more sauce, more, onions and tomatoes. I add more of those things because it's just not the same. Yeah. I I I think that somewhere along the line it got lost in translation, or they just got kind of lazy when making pizza. I don't know what happened there, but The worst pizza was in China. And I'm sorry if you're from China, but they put fruit and call it pizza. They put fruit on their pizza. And I hate saying fruit on pizza. Just, I mean, we're not talking pineapple, just pineapple. We're talking pineapple, apples, raisins, all kinds of fruit on this pizza. And I thought, this is not pizza.
They put corn on pizza here.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
know.
don't know why they do.
Corn. Corn. I like the simple cheese, onion, tomato, garlic. That's it.
Mhm.
Just basic. Um, yeah. So, what are some important things to know when cooking for more than four people, let's say?
Well, I've never done that before, so
Okay.
I would imagine making sure everybody likes what you are making and that there are no food allergies involved.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had the joy of making for four.
Oh, it's fun.
Oh, I can imagine. Okay, so hold on.
I would say that I agree with you. Make sure that what you're making is something that you think
This
your
is
guests will
so
enjoy.
obviously I
And
can't show it, but our viewer from Ireland just shared something. This is a Japanese mayo broccoli corn pizza.
no.
And I'm looking at a pizza with um like mayo in a lattice with broccoli and corn and yeah. So I will I guess I'll find a way to share it with Ellie here, but unfortunately,
Oh, you mean something like this? Oops. There we go.
okay.
You'll see the screen in five, four, three, two. Oops. Try again. In five, four, three, two, one. Something like that.
That's exactly the picture. Yeah, that that is that I feel anger.
Yeah.
I feel like the I part of me is feeling like the Japanese did not learn their lesson in 1945, and we need to go explain things more.
Well, why? Why mayonnaise? Mayonnaise on a pizza? No, no. And
I guarantee, says the tweet, I guarantee it will be better than any slice of New York pizza you ever have in your life. I'm going to have, I need to hurt this person a lot, violently.
well, to each his own.
Well, no, no, no,
I got
look,
that a lot when
uh,
I got.
look, I'm from New York City. Deep dish pizza is not pizza, it's a casserole. Okay. Just flat out. So
But I love deep dish pizza.
I'm not saying you can't love it. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying it's not pizza. It's a
Uh,
casserole. So yeah.
yeah, when I was in China, the phrase is "it's not to my taste" or "I'm not used to the taste."
Mm-hmm.
So in China, you don't say, "Oh, I don't like it." They don't like that phrase. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
They prefer the phrase, "I'm not used to the taste." So
Yes.
um, my students corrected me when I would say, "Oh, I don't like this." Say, no. You have to say, I'm not used to the taste." Okay.
Mm. Domino's Japan. Yeah. No. Stop it, Japan, right now. Stop it.
This is the deep dish Chicago pizza. Oops. Yeah, there it is.
Yep.
Oh, doesn't that look great?
Oh, it,
Looks.
it, it looks delicious, but it's not pizza. That's my point. It's a casserole.
Oh, that looks. Yeah, I know. I know. Capital C. It's the name Chicago, right?
I mean, it's Google. It doesn't care.
No, I know, but I have someone typing. It's capital C. Yes, I know.
Oh, really? Someone just said that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, this is my favorite pizza. When I go to Chicago, I have to have a slice of this.
You have to have casserole. That's fine. Enjoy.
Mm.
Enjoy your casserole.
And
But no,
the
New York
same
style pizza. That is pizza.
there.
Yes. Yes. Big and floppy and cheesy and ingredients and oh yes.
Are we
What is New
homesick for
York
pizza?
pizza? It's the greatest. That's what it is. Thank you.
Um, I think when cooking for a large group, I would agree with that. You need to know what they like and if they have any food allergies.
Hmm.
I also think that preparing for the meal in advance, like making
Yep.
sure I'm going to make this, this, and this. And I do that like a week before the dinner party. I do it a
Hmm.
week before where I think, okay, I need to make this on Thursday, I need this on Friday, and then I'll just make this on Saturday.
Hmm.
You never want to make if it's four people, it's not so that's not a lot of people, but when there's more than four, I tend to make things like if I'm making deviled eggs, I know that those will be fine for a couple of days. So I could make those on a Friday. They'll be fine for Saturday. I could make a pie because I know I can put that in the oven, heat that up on a Saturday. So I make things in advance, and I tell people if they're going to make food for a party, start early.
Yep.
Start early.
I would agree. I like to make things in advance too.
Mhm.
When I like to have all the ingredients prepared so I can just start throwing things into pots when it's time. I don't like sitting there cutting vegetables and well no, it's like, you see Gordon Ramsay just I'm like I haven't got
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with the sharp thing near my fingers going like that. So
Even if your fingers are
I
curled
know they do the
under.
thing and it's just still like no.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I put everything in, get everything ready,
Hmm.
cook the things you can in advance. I don't like lasagna is great if you make it on a Thursday and serve it on a Saturday because it kind of marinates and all the flavors kind of come together. But if you're making a meat dish, you probably don't want to make that on a Thursday and reheat it. That's something you probably want to make the day of.
Mm.
What's your favorite dish to make, and can you tell us how it's prepared?
Well, I mean, I like I said, I like to make lasagna.
Mhm.
Actually, no, let's do that chicken couscous thing I mentioned. Um, so you start by you get a Dutch oven or a large pot. And you heat it up and you put some butter in, and then you brown the chicken on both sides, and you season it with salt and pepper, and then you put it in the oven to bake for like 20 minutes. And meanwhile, while you're doing that, you put in some more butter, and then you put couscous and onion and garlic. Make sure it's all nice and toasted. Then you pour in some chicken stock and a parsley mixture, which is like parsley, lemon zest, some more chicken stock, salt and pepper, and you let those both cook for about 20 minutes. And then once it's mostly evaporated, you give it a stir, put in a little more butter, a little more parsley, and then yum.
Sounds good.
It
Sounds
is
good.
good. I like making it.
I think I like to bake um, uh, things.
Okay.
Here in Sweden, they have their traditional things that they make, but like they don't have an upside down pineapple cake. I made an upside down pineapple cake, and people that I served it to, they were just amazed. And it's quite easy to
What is
make.
this
You just
witchcraft?
Yes, it's quite easy to make. You put some sliced pineapple at the bottom of the pan, and if you like cherries, I don't, but if you want, you can put little cherries in the circles, and then you put in this lovely um, brown sugar sauce. You just put that at the bottom, and you put in
Mm-hmm.
your just a basic cake mixture. We don't have box cake here. At least I haven't found any. There might be a brand, but I haven't really looked for box cake because I like making it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a great recipe for cake, and I just make that, put that in, bake it, and then flip it over, and it's done. Um, so I like to bake, especially for people that haven't had American, type baked goods like upside down pineapple cake. Uh, I made a black bottom cupcake cake. Um,
Cake
and
is good.
yeah, and I love making pies as well.
Hmm.
Those are my favorite things. And the if you want to make an easy wow pie, you can buy pre-made pie shells, and if you don't find it or can't find it, you take 2 cups of flour and you put in some butter, about a third of a cup, and you take a knife and a fork or
Hmm.
pastry knife, and you cut it up till it's all crumbly.
Yep.
And the butter has to be cold. It has to be cold.
Yep.
And then you take really cold water, about 5 to 8 tablespoons, and throw that in, and you mix it up.
Hmm.
Um, what I do is I mix it up. You don't want to over mix it, because then it won't roll. But you can stick that in the refrigerator just for a little bit, so it hardens up, and you can prepare your pie filling.
Hmm.
I just put in a couple, like 4 cups of fruit, whatever fruit you want to put into it. You can put raspberries, strawberries, a mixture. I put in raspberry blueberries, about 4 cups, 5 cups. Um, and I take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I throw that in there, and about a tablespoon of sugar, white sugar. Some people put in a half a cup. It depends on how sweet you like it. I don't like overly sweet pies, so I only use about a tablespoon of white sugar. Mix that up. And I take out the pie, and I roll out the dough, and I throw that in, and I roll out the other. I have to cut the dough in half to make two. Roll that out, put that in there, and bake it. You have to, the key, when you roll out the dough, you take a fork and you put little holes at the bottom of the pan, and then put your filling in, and then you put the top on.
Hmm.
It sounds like a lot of work, but I think once you do it, it's really not that difficult to make. But yeah. Have you ever had a bad restaurant experience?
In what sense?
Like, take the food back, I'm not paying for this.
No, I've never had anything that bad.
Yeah.
Have you?
No, and I think I'm not the type of person, unless it's really like made
Yeah.
bad, like if it wasn't cooked all the way through, like if
Yeah.
if I had ordered, like let's say I ordered chicken and it's raw in the middle, I would
Right.
send it
Yeah.
back. But yeah.
Yeah. I've never had a situation like that. I mean, I have had situations where, I ate at a restaurant and then, yay, food poisoning. I've had that a few times. But
No.
in terms of like, take it back, I'm not paying for this. No, that's never happened.
I've had food poisoning once, and and yeah, that's a horrible thing to have.
Well, I kept getting it at one point, and that's when I decided, no, I'm just going to cook for myself.
Mm. Well, looks like we've run out of time today.
We have.
Now,
Food is
next
yummy.
our next live stream, we're going to be giving opinions. So we're going to be giving, we've given some opinions about food here,
Hmm.
but I think we can give you some more opinions of different things other than just
So,
food.
so we're
There are a
discussing
lot of
aliens
things.
again.
Not that kind of opinion.
Okay.
Like if something, how do you say something is beautiful or ugly or good or bad, that kind of, giving your opinion,
Hmm.
giving your 2 cents worth, right? um and I think that's going to be a fun live stream. And
Hope
if
so.
you are a member of the channel, on we're doing a live stream on the first Sunday, which is October 6th, and you have to be a member for the live stream. So October 6th on a Sunday at 12 o'clock, we'll be talking about listening and how you can improve your listening skills. So if you're interested in that, sign up today. And I want to take a moment to say that I appreciate you for joining us today and for signing up and being a part of this community. Um, if you have a chance, go to the community section. I've been posting questions there. So see if you can answer those questions. All right.
There's
Brad, thank you. Thank you for coming today. And it
Yep.
was
Thank you.
lovely talking with you as
Yep.
well. And
Thank you for having me as always, Ellie.
sure. And happy birthday again to our friend over in Ireland.
Mm-hmm. I will pass it along. I'm sure he
Great.
heard though.
Excellent.
You're very welcome.
And until next time, please keep practicing. Bye.
And bon appetit.